So right now, as we speak, Artemis II is making its way around the moon, and it's going to have a splashdown, hopefully on April the 10th. All right, so with Space Fever officially taking over, we thought there'd be no better time than to go ride a NASA-inspired and engineered attraction here at Walt Disney World Resort in EPCOT, with the test track in the background, by the way. So, hopefully you heard all that.
Yeah.
So this is one of the most intense, controversial rides in all of the resorts. So we're gonna go take a look right now and check it out.
So today we're going to dive into the history of what Mission Space is. It replaced the old Horizons Pavilion, correct? And we're going to kind of talk about a little bit about the history and what made it happen and what might the future be for this pavilion.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And of course, we are going to strap in for the Orange Team. Orange Team?
Yeah.
It's the Orange Team. We're going to strap in for the Orange Team, guys. And we are going to do a POV, so you get to do it with us.
Come on, let's go.
I'm scared.
Okay, so in the late 90s, EPCOT was really struggling to get teenagers here and thrill seekers. So they had to come up with a heavy-hitting e-ticket attraction, and Mission Space was that attraction.
But to build it, they had to demolish Horizons, which was in 1999, right?
Yeah, 99.
Which was very hard on everybody that is a, Epcot purist.
Yeah, for sure. It was really, it was a big deal back then. Okay, the goal, Imagineers didn't want to just build a roller coaster. They wanted to build a true astronaut simulation ride. And that's what we ended up with today. And they really wanted you to feel breaking through the atmosphere and the
feel like
G-forces.
you're in the rocket,
yeah,
yeah.
like you're leaving Earth. So that's what they ended up building here.
So Disney brought in actual NASA engineers, astronauts, and scientists to make sure that this actually felt real. They even brought in astronaut Story Musgrave. Came in.
Lead consultant
on this team to build this ride. So
that was just so that they wanted to make sure that the physics felt real.
Yeah.
So the tech behind this ride is Disney didn't really they didn't want to just build a centrifuge. So they brought in this company called Environmental Tektronix Corporation. I'm sorry, I'm looking at some notes. It's a company that actually builds centrifuges for the military and real space programs. So this is about as intense and as real as you're gonna get.
So this thing spins at 2.5
Gs.
2.5 Gs.
So when you're on Earth, you're at 0.
Artemis II is 4.5, right?
It's 4, right?
4, I think 4. So, I mean, pretty close, right?
It's about as close as you're going to get. I've once heard some of the astronauts that wrote it in the very beginning when it was first created say that it was about as close as you were going to get to actually lifting off if you weren't an astronaut.
And in the beginning, when this first opened, it was just the orange side. So it was a little intense for some people, and it might be for me, Tom. But they had to add a second green line that's not quite as intense. So
right.
So there's a little something for everybody.
Orange is mission to Mars, and green is Earth, mission Earth or something like that. Yeah. So like we just said, the Orange mission still exists, taking people to Mars. But with Artemis II getting scheduled to go to the moon on their next trip, right now they're just slingshotting, but getting ready on their next trip to actually take people to the moon and start working on a system where we can launch from the moon and get people to Mars.
Makes us wonder if this is going to get an upgrade at some point. Let's see.
Let us know in the comments down below what you think. If we need an upgrade here, or if you like it the way it is, either way.
All right, guys, so history lesson over. We're going to go see if we've got the right stuff to get this thing done. We're going to head into that orange queue.
Let's go.
Space Training Center. You're here today to train for the greatest adventure in the history of mankind, space exploration. I know you're probably feeling a little nervous right now, but don't worry. Every astronaut has felt that way at one time or another. even the heroes who went to the front. There is one thing they had that you don't have yet. The training. You're here today for flight training, the most thrilling experience that any astronaut candidate will ever have. Before you decide if it's right for you, let me introduce you to your spacecraft. The X-2 Space Shuttle. It's powered by solid hydrogen and can accelerate from 0 to 6,000 in 60 seconds. So when you hear the words "go for launch," you definitely want to hang on. Now you've already been organized in your teams, and soon each of you will be assigned a position. Navigator, pilot, commander, or engineer. The success of your mission will depend on all of you working together as a team. I'll be your Capcom, and in a few minutes I'll give you your specific assignments. But first, our flight director has some safety instructions for you. Lieutenant?
Remember the team number you're standing on. When the doors in front of you open, you will be directed to a flight station with that number on. When you get there, stand on the surface. During your Orange Team training mission, you will be thrown inside X2 flight simulators that produce deep space flying conditions such as turbulence and G-forces. Those who are prone to motion sickness or made uncomfortable by enclosed dark spaces, simulators, or sleep should bypass this experience.
Mom should have known better on that.
As you can see, astronaut flight training isn't like anything you've ever experienced before. It is intense. And if you would like to opt out, just ask any member of the ISTC crew for directions. As for the rest of you, work for your pre-flight briefing. It's go time. Congratulations, team. You have been selected to train for a mission to Mars. Teams are awaiting your arrival at the landing site here at Valles Marineris. Your mission is to get to that landing site. Your flight path to Mars will take you around the moon for a lunar gravity assist. But even with that slingshot, your trip will take 3 months. So we'll have to put you into hypersleep.
Hypersleep activated.
Don't worry, it'll only seem like a second or two to you. I'll give you a wake-up call when we get to Mars.
T-minus 3 minutes to go.
Okay, now listen up. Here are your assignments. Navigator. You'll fire the thrusters for lunar orbit insertion and for descent to the surface of Mars. Pilot, on my signal, I'll need you to trigger the second stage rocket. You'll also deploy the shields. Commander, you will be responsible for first stage separation and activating manual control for landing. Engineer, when it's bedtime, you will activate hypersleep. You will also extend the wings for landing. Don't worry, when it's time to push the buttons, they will light up. Then I'll give you the go. One last thing. In the event of an emergency landing, there are control sticks at every crew position. Okay, Lieutenant. Any final instructions for our new kids?
When the flight bay doors open, follow the markings on the floor to your capsule. Then move all the way across, taking your crew position in the cockpit, and stow all personal items in the compartment in front of you. Then reach up and pull down your restraint. Now listen carefully. Leaning forward, closing your eyes, or looking left or right during your flight could disorient you. So keep your head back against the headrest. Keep your eyes open at all times, and focus straight ahead, even if you start to feel disoriented. They're all yours, Capcom.
Well, I guess that's everything. Good luck, Mars team. You are on the clock.
Follow the markings on the floor to your X2 training.
Attention, trainees.
Now.
Follow the markings on the floor to
Space sickness beds are located on the instrument panel.
How you doing?
rocket. Now.
Leaving Earth orbit. Velocity 15,000. 16,000.
You should have visual of the space station now, and you are on course for your slingshot around the moon. Navigator, fire rockets for lunar orbit insertion. Now. Beautiful sight, isn't it? Something to dream about on the way to Mars. Engineer, activate hypersleep. Now. Rise and shine. Let's go, team. We've got a problem.
Beginning evasive maneuvers.
This meteor storm is directly over your Mars landing site.
Proximity alert.
Pilot, deploy the shield. Now. We're ready for deorbit burn. Navigator, fire rockets for descent. Now.
Rocket fired. 200 miles to planet surface.
Engineer, extend wings for gliding. Now.
Wings extended.
We've lost autopilot. Commander, activate manual control. Now.
Activated.
All hands on the control sticks. Pull back. Pull back. Left. Pull left. Once again, you hold. Now right. Ease it left. They're coming in too hot. Back to center. Just hold it stick.
Runway ends in 1,000 feet. 200.
Watch the barrier.
50 feet.
Pull back. Hang on. Down and clear.
Alert. Location canyon edge.
Don't move a muscle. Good work, team. You made it to the landing site. Welcome to Mars. And welcome to the astronaut corps.
All right, so we're done with the ride business, and we thought we'd come back over to America and get some po' boys. We got 2 of those.
And we have
We got the gumbo,
the gumbo, and then
It's
these
from the gumbo.
amazing cake.
gumbo, and then we have the Bananas Foster's cake. So we're gonna dig in. We reviewed all this before, so you guys don't want to see that. But we're just gonna take a little break, and then we'll keep going from there. Well, we survived the G-forces. It's incredible to really think about. There's astronauts up there doing it for real right now. It's amazing the amount of courage that it takes for them to do that. Yeah.
I know they're well trained, but if you're following the Artemis II for their splashdown on the 10th, please keep them in your thoughts, our brave astronauts. And if you want more history content of EPCOT, please like, subscribe, hit the button,
Ring the bell,
in.
do all those things, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye, Ren.
Bye,
Love
Ren.
you.
Love you.